Welcome to the Movie Podium, a weekly podcast where we collectively choose a movie to watch, and at the end of the week, we get together and talk about it. It's kind of like a book club.
But for movies.
This week's film is our introduction to Spielberg, where we dedicate an entire month to one of the greatest directors of all time. And without further ado, we present our next movie.
There is a creature alive today who has survived millions of years of evolution. It is as if God created the devil and gave him jaws.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, here we go.
Big shark, gonna eat everyone that it can. Boom.
I'm your host, Matt Scott, and I'm here with my dudes, Eric,
Hello.
Daniel,
Ew.
Dave,
Dave.
He's
and hello, John.
Hello, John.
Hello, John.
Hello, John. Hello, John.
Well, I'm very pumped to do this movie. I feel like it ages like fine wine. The more I see it, the more I enjoy it. Yeah, just give me that all
The
the
older the
time.
berry, the sweeter the juice.
I agree. I absolutely agree. It's obviously one of the most influential and entertaining movies of all time. Probably a top 5 in terms of entertainment. I mean, it's scary, it's adventurous, it's fun, it's fast-paced. I mean, there's a shark attack every 10 minutes almost, or 20 minutes. Like, it's not. It does have a slow build-up to the shark itself. However, there's plenty of action in this in terms of attacks. All right, you guys ready for some random ass facts?
I am ready.
Obviously, there's quite a bit. I mean, there's documentaries on the making of Jaws. So this was not hard to find things. It was more hard to sift through what was most key. First of all, it got a 1 and Thor 0.1 at 8.1 on IMDb. This is roughly based on a book. Did you guys know that?
Nope.
No.
What's
Yeah.
the book?
I only knew that because I was reading about it, Jaws, and they said that they changed the cover of the book to be more like the poster of the movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so there's quite a few differences in between the book and the movie. The writer actually left the set by the end of the movie because he couldn't take the ending because it was different. And I'll get there. First of all, Richard Dreyfuss's character Hooper was in the book slept with Chief Brody's wife.
What the hell?
Yeah, that's a spicy tamale.
Yeah, so Spielberg didn't think this made a lot of sense plot-wise. It didn't really move the plot. And so really the only hint of it is that dinner scene when Hooper is talking and just spouting out random shit and she giggles and laughs. I think that was like the nod to that affair that they had. Another big difference is that Hooper actually dies in the book. So Spielberg
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, right? So he was supposed to die in the book. Yeah. Yeah. So he was going to keep this as a plot point in the movie, and basically the entire film was planning on this. But at the end of the movie, when they film that cage scene where he gets in the cage, it's actually not him, it's a little person, and the shark's like maybe half the size. And when the shark goes up to the cage and bites it and brings it up to shore, that actually happens in real life. And so Spielberg thought, we really can't make this work with the shark eating somebody in the cage. And so he just rolled with it. And so you know what? I think we'll just keep Hooper alive. So it was just a on-the-fly call to keep him alive.
Okay.
Which I think is probably the right call. That end scene with them, swimming away wouldn't be as, I don't know, epic if it's just one person.
Quint. No.
And then the last book difference that was big, and this is what I was talking about, how the author left the scene because he was so upset. The way they killed Jaws at the end. The way it originally was supposed to happen was...
About that.
Yeah, exactly. It was Brody was harpooning him to death, which they kind of hint with. I mean, they had harpoons on the ship.
Yeah.
Obviously, in the movie, he shoots an oxygen tank, which Mythbusters disproved.
Fire, you son of a...
All right, I got a trivia question. Does anybody know the name of Jaws on the set?
The
Big
shark.
Bertha.
Okay, no. So the name of this is a good trivia question. The name of the shark is Bruce, which happened to be Spielberg's lawyer.
And the Finding Nemo shark was named
Yeah,
after.
There you go.
the head of Friends for Sharks or whatever.
Yeah.
Name's Bruce.
All right, I got two more. Speaking of Bruce, this was notorious for being a horrible on-set film debacle, basically. The shark itself did not work at all. Basically couldn't even have it in the film, and so that's why you see so little of it. But honestly, that made the movie, right? I mean, it set the tone for horror movies for the next 50 years.
Yeah, it was like, that's why Alien is so good, because you barely see the alien. It's just tense. Horror.
Yeah, absolutely. And funny story about Alien. The reason Alien was sold was because they actually, their pitch was that it was Jaws in space.
Nice.
So, I mean, literally, that's the like legend behind Alien, was they said it was Jaws in space.
Yeah, that's
so.
the elevator pitch. Jaws in
I'm
space.
sold.
Boom.
Literally.
Let's go.
So Dave, yeah, absolutely like Alien. The other one that I guess should be talked about, and mainly not necessarily a fact, but just the idea that this was the first blockbuster at the time, and the reason why it was the first blockbuster is typically big movies happen because the way they started in a small theater setting or a select theater, and if it was well received, the footprint of its theater presence increased, right? It just got bigger and bigger. And so there were successful movies like The Exorcist and, go down the list, Godfather, but they didn't start out big. Well, Jaws was originally supposed to come out on Christmas, but due to the poor filming of this movie or how it turned out, they had to push it to summer. Well, that gave them the ability to get that wide release. And so they had 409 theaters in the United States at one time, which is by far more than most films at that time. And obviously it kept just getting bigger and bigger. I think I saw a stat, it was like when it was released on TV or first shown on TV, like 57% of people watched it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, 30% watched the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
So at that time, I mean, there weren't as much TV. I know that stuff, but like still just processing. 57% of the United States watched Jaws when it came out on TV. All right, long-winded, but there's a lot of lore to this.
Yeah.
There was something that I noticed in the movie. I want to know if you guys noticed it too. When they're out to sea, did anyone notice this comet in the background in two scenes that shoots across the sky?
Yes.
I don't know if it's a comet, but something shoots like across the sky. Wow. And I wondered if it was just like a freak accident in the shot or if it was meant to be put there. And so whenever there was nothing in your notes about it, I was like, well, I wonder if anybody noticed that.
Yeah. Dude, I thought the same thing, Dave, because I don't know, like, it happens in two shots, and I was thinking, like, did they mean for it to do that? Or what?
Yeah, I was wondering if there was some kind of meaning behind it, but I didn't dive into the internet with it.
Huh. No, I didn't know that. I didn't even notice that. And no, I didn't read anything. That's cool.
Oh, yeah, I noticed at least one of them, but it's like, yeah, it's near dawn, maybe after his big, spooky World War II speech. Spoiler.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get into that.
Yes, we will.
Also, Amity Island is not a real place.
Amity.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Amity.
Yeah.
As you know, means
Right.
friendship.
Because whenever they said something about a New York accent, They got me like wanting to look up where this was, and
Yeah.
it's actually a place in Boston or in Massachusetts.
Martha's Vineyard.
Yeah,
which is like where all the rich people go.
All the New
vacation.
Yorkers.
Now, at that point, it
Are
wasn't
you
as
an
big.
Islander?
Well, talking about like those shots, the vast sea shots. One interesting thing that I came across was that Spielberg talked about how he tried to get nothing in the scene. So like there were times when they were out to sea shooting. I mean, this was something that was all shot on the ocean, which again was another thing that hadn't happened a lot. And so part of that was them waiting 2 hours so there wouldn't be a sailboat 10 miles out of their horizon. So like
waiting for the seas
I think
to calm
maybe
and shit.
right. So there might even be one or two scenes where you see a sailboat in the back, and it was like they had to make a call, like, do we wait another hour or two before this guy goes, or do we film this? So that was something that was really interesting, because if you notice most shots, you don't see anything but them, and they wanted that isolated feeling, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which obviously is really cool to see, and I can't imagine them filming this anywhere other than the ocean. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, like on a soundstage or some shit.
yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
like
it's so
Titanic.
good.
Didn't they have
Right.
some big tank for that?
Probably. Let's go to the categories. First category: favorite thing about the movie. All right, John, what you got?
Okay, that it's two movies in one,
Mhm.
but in a good way. Normally, that's like a criticism. I feel like I'll leave it for the second movie, but I love how this movie is two exciting movies in one, which is the first, the sheriff getting control of the island,
Yep.
and the second is the hunt for the shark.
Yep. Absolutely. Couldn't agree more.
I didn't think
Totally
of it
two
as
movies.
two movies.
Yeah, I didn't
Guess
either.
it. Yeah, I guess it's.
Yeah. Once they get
I
on
guess they
that
could have
boat.
split it up.
Yeah. I always think like once they get on that boat, it's like, all right, now they're off to their Moby Dick scene, right?
It's
Yeah,
like
it's
it's
something
almost
else.
like the first half of the movie didn't even happen after they get on the boat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's already been
Yeah.
people killed.
Now that I
Yeah.
think about it,
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
really,
it's two
it's really
movies.
like the first half is like the politics,
Yeah.
and the
You have to
second
have-
half is the action.
Yeah,
like
and
there's
you have
still
to
the,
have-
the shark attacks and everything, but it's all about the politics on the island.
yeah,
And then
right.
and
yeah,
But that's what I'm meaning. Like, there's no like scenes or cutbacks to the island when they're out to sea. It's just all
which is
out
awesome.
to. I didn't put that.
Them
I didn't
versus
put
the
that
fucking
together until
shark.
just now.
Oh, that was another thing. I'm glad you said that, Dave. In the book, they come back every night. Like Brody sleeps in
Okay.
his own bed at night.
Uh-huh.
Like that
Oh,
would
they
have
don't
not
stay out.
No,
to sea.
they don't stay out to sea in the book. That would like ruin
that's
the movie.
lame. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really lame. Like being out in the sea is like the most scary feeling or isolated feeling in this movie. Like
Yeah,
that's-
fish out of water, so to
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you
speak.
imagine
In the
that?
water.
Dave, what was your favorite thing?
Just I love these old suspense thrillers that came out back in the day that almost feel cheesy now, but like if you think about like when this movie came out at the time, I bet it just like scared the crap out of people at
Oh,
the theater or the drive-in.
like Psycho or something.
Oh
Dude,
yeah.
there's
Yeah,
still,
or,
there's still
Texas
people who
Chainsaw
won't go in the
Massacre.
water.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
like people running out of the theater. kinda
Oh
deal.
yeah. Carrie, my mom said she saw someone run out of Carrie.
Yeah, my mom
Like,
said
they,
when
they actually
Okay.
named the phobia of sharks based on this movie, I believe.
Yeah,
I believe
I think you're right.
there wasn't a phobia for sharks until this movie put it into the
Like
wider consciousness.
Yeah,
Like
I have
this
something
movie,
on that.
this movie's rated PG,
Yeah. It's there's side boob.
which gets me into my top 5 reasons why I think this movie shouldn't be rated PG.
Nice.
I guess like the first PG-13 rating wasn't until Poltergeist.
Yeah, 84, 85.
So 84. So there just weren't.
Yeah,
There just weren't that. There just wasn't that rating until then. So
yeah.
Well,
all right.
you
So
think
you
about
have.
it, PG actually does mean parental guidance. Like,
Right.
it suggests that you have a parent there.
Sure, but I mean,
Yeah, no, I agree. I
so
agree.
here,
It's crazy what you could get away with under a PG.
So, all right, I got 6 here. So I guess outside looking in,
Whoa,
we got
6?
we just got blood in the water.
Yeah.
So that'll be number 6. Number 5, we've got the severed arm in the morgue. Number 4, we got the severed leg at the boat attack with Brody's kid.
Yep.
Sinks down and like bounces off the bottom.
Then we've got at number 3. Yeah, number 3. We got the
that comes after 4.
we got we got Hooper giving Quint the FU sign when he goes like
Oh
this.
yeah.
Yeah.
At number 2, the severed head in the water that
Yeah, what was
scares
his
Hooper.
Oh, what was
Yeah.
that guy's name?
I can't remember the
I
guy's
can't remember
name.
either.
Some townie
But
who is out
he's
on
got
the
like
boat.
he's got like the gangly stuff coming out of his eye socket.
Ben Gardner's boat. It was all chewed up. I helped tow it in. You should have seen him.
Yeah.
It's gross.
And then number 1, Quint being eaten alive.
Yeah.
Off of the boat, just screaming bloody murder. Like half of his body inside of the shark.
Boring.
So yeah, top 5 reasons that this movie probably shouldn't have been rated PG.
I have a 7th also, and also the 7th. There's side boob in the beginning.
Yeah.
That
I
girl's
was
naked.
wondering if you saw any of the nudity because it's kind of it's kind of dark, and I think there was still a little bit of sunlight coming into the room that masked it.
I mean,
But I even
you gotta
thought
pause it there.
I even thought whenever the shot of them coming up from underneath of her when she's naked, I thought maybe you saw something something there, but
Oh yeah, you see some side
Something
boob. For sure.
tantalizing, not just to a shark.
Daniel, what was your favorite thing?
My favorite thing is the last hour of this movie. Just the whole
The second
boat.
movie.
Yeah, the whole boat sequence is so good.
Yeah.
Each of their personalities is on display. Like, they each are doing things in character that explain their character. And then they have that iconic scene where they're sitting around drinking that's amazing.
Yes.
So good.
The tension of man versus animal is amazing. The man versus sea stuff is amazing. The fact that Quint goes a little bit crazy.
A little bit.
Okay, a lot crazy out there.
He does. I mean, you can tell as time goes on how he just loses it. It's
And
so
then he
good.
beats the crap out of the box or the radio so they can't call the Coast Guard in.
Yeah.
Like, it's man versus man too. It's got like all sorts of different combinations of stuff.
His rival,
And
that
the
shark
action
is
scenes are
taking
really
over.
cool. Like when they're harpooning him to get the barrels on him. When
Yeah.
they tie the barrels to the boat and it almost cuts Hooper in half. Like that the whole second second part of the movie is just amazing.
Yeah.
And speaking of the
absolutely.
shark,
Oh,
I have a
shit.
top 5.
Oh shit.
My top 5
too early.
is top 5 animal villains in film.
Oh, okay.
So at number 5, I'm going with the Beast from Sandlot. Because eventually he's not that bad of a guy. But he's the antagonist. He gets the ball. He's the bad guy for a while. That's why he's at number 5.
He's mythic, though.
Number 4 are the spiders and arachnophobia, because I hate spiders. Fuck spiders.
Yeah.
They could all die, and I'd be like, all right, take the mosquitoes with you.
Which is worse, those spiders or the spiders in Jumanji that are giant?
Giant spiders don't scare me as much as realistic size spiders.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're good. It's just like the spiders in Harry Potter. It's like, but they're more monsters than they are spiders because they're big. Plus, I kill them all the time in video games. Where, like, the little guys, they're too little to kill in video games. You can't shoot them.
Getting any little crack or crevice.
Number 3 is the shark in Deep Blue Sea.
Which one?
It turns on the oven. That one.
That one.
He hides in the oven, and the shark goes like, "I'm gonna cook you and then eat you. You're gonna be delicious." And turns on the oven. That is
but
awesome.
there are multiple sharks. That's what I was getting at.
Yeah,
but the oven one is a great one. Yeah.
Because I think that's the same shark that pops out of the water.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So that shark. Number 2 is the bear in The Revenant.
Yeah.
Dude, that bear fucked him up.
Leonardo DiCaprio. Maybe.
Hilarious list.
Maybe a little inappropriately. I don't know. The internet will
committed some
that.
fouls.
There was a lot of memes going around about inappropriate bear behavior. And then number 1 is Bruce because he's awesome.
Yep. Nice. Well done.
Or.
All right, Eric, what was your favorite thing?
My favorite thing was just the way that this movie was filmed, and just the way it looked. I have a note here. The cinematographer is Bill Butler, and he did a few different movies. He did Grease, Rocky 3, and there was a couple other ones. He's done a lot of stuff, but this I'm thinking of a few different specific scenes, mostly in the beginning of the movie, when the chief is going out of the kitchen and he goes to work the first time, where it's like one single shot. He's walking out. He walks past this kid. His wife gets on the teeter-totter or whatever, the swing with the kid. Mm-hmm. And the truck is like, the Amity Police Department is completely framed in the fence, like in the gap of the fence.
Oh, cool.
That was such a cool shot, yeah. And then the most impactful or like most recognizable shot from this movie is something called the dolly zoom, or the Hitchcock zoom, or the Jaws zoom.
Yep.
And it's where you can either pull the camera back away from the subject and zoom in at the same time, or you can push the camera in and zoom out at the same time. And what it equates to is the subject, in this case the chief, stays the same size in the frame, but the background just changes. It like it either closes in or it widens out. And that's it's such a cool shot.
It absolutely is. When he's on the beach.
Of when that shot happens, Eric?
Yeah, on the beach. On the beach when he's looking out.
Okay.
When he's looking out and his like the
his
terror
wife's trying
in
to
his
massage
face.
him to get him to relax. And
that's
when
like
the shark is
chills.
spotted.
Yeah. Such a revolutionary scene. Nice, Eric. I'm glad that you talked about it because that scene always stands out to me.
Yeah, it's so iconic that they named that move after it.
Yeah.
The Hitchcock zoom. I mean, they've got obviously there's an example in a Hitchcock movie.
Vertigo.
Vertigo. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, Vertigo. It was done in multiple shots.
Vertigo just got a crazy fucking story.
It sure does. All right. My favorite thing, and I had a bunch, but I narrowed it down to one, and it's actually pretty similar to what Daniel said. Not the just the hour, but I think what this sets it apart from other movies in its genre is, whether this is a horror, adventure, or whatever you want to call it, is the storytelling through the character development. And so I love how you have one guy who's the nature guy who's crazy. You have the science guy, who's also crazy. And then you have the average guy, who really isn't crazy. I mean, he tries to call for help like a rational person.
Yeah.
And then for all three of them have different reasons for chasing their Moby Dick. And I like how you put it, that last hour, I mean, is them all chasing something for the same reason, or for different reasons. The crazy guy, because he's chasing his past, he's got the haunted past. You got the science guy, because, he's all about his craft and is just all in, dives in. And you have Brody, who's trying to protect the town, his family. And I feel like there's a little bit of him trying to prove to himself too, right? He's the one afraid of the water. He's always the one that's afraid of something, or I think he's trying to tackle his
trying to
fears
play it
there
safe.
in some case. Yeah, absolutely. So I like the storytelling of the characters, and that's such a Spielberg thing, just like putting just common people together and somehow making it entertaining and thoughtful. Like, again, as we'll see with some of these other movies, he just does such a good job with just normal, average people. Like in The Goonies, even though he was a producer, like, those are just kids. Like, he knows how to put a story together. With
Or
just,
Saving Private Ryan.
Nice. Yeah, anybody. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, those are just guys,
Yeah, absolutely.
Tom Hanks is an English teacher in that movie?
Yeah, I think so. I'm kind of with you, Dan, on that same sense. So the characters and the exposition of the characters, even in the beginning, I mean, just learning when the chief talks to the random person who called in the drowning, like, we learn things through the character exposition that just kind of teaches us without being in our face. And that really does well for the last half of the movie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, least favorite thing. John.
All right, I'm going within the movie universe. Is that the sheriff in this movie just has a total buzzkill? Feels like he's gotten the choice cut for a sheriff. A summer town, nothing happens. His summer is supposed to be starting out.
Listen, Chief, be careful, will you?
In this town?
He's on Easy Street, and then, boom, people start getting eaten by sharks. And he's got to fucking deal with all this and get pulled away from his family. So
Nice.
that's my biggest dislike, is the sheriff summer gets off to a really, really bad start.
That's pretty
He
hilarious.
barely
That's thoughtful
gets
of you.
out alive.
Nice.
Nice of you to be so concerned about that character.
These people are eaten, but it really sucks that guy who's a government official trying to do his job and get through the summer.
I mean, I guess mine is kind of similar.
What's yours, Dave?
The dog got ate by the shark.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Did it?
Yeah, that one dog that
Oh,
the
it
guy was
definitely
playing
disappeared.
fetch with.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it disappeared, but I wanted to hold out hope that it just ran away.
Yeah, we don't know. Yeah,
Slam
that-
on
I mean,
it.
we don't
was
know,
probably
but
full
if
on
it
that
did,
little boy.
that's my least favorite part of the movie.
Yep.
It's fair.
The dog,
Eric?
out of all the people that got it, the dog.
Yes, John. Yes.
Yeah,
We're a pro
yeah.
dog podcast.
Yeah, are you? Do you know who you're talking to? You're talking to David and Eric. They would prefer to talk to your dog than you.
Yeah.
Eric, what was your least favorite?
My least favorite thing was the fucking mayor. That asshole is like, just no, you can't keep people from coming here and spending their money.
I'm only trying to say that Amity is a summer town. We need summer dollars.
Oh,
We
I
need
wanted
those
to-
summer dollars.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm right with you, Eric. I literally said mayor cares more about money than people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey, his kids were out on that beach too.
So I am not necessarily going to argue the mayor wasn't a dick, but I do have a different thought process on that, and it kind of ties into my least favorite. So my least favorite part about this movie is what it did for sharks, and we already kind of talked about this. I think it was you, Daniel. And he said once this movie came out, a phobia was named after. Like this put fear into people of sharks. So I did a little research on sharks.
Well, maybe it was a rightful fear.
Yeah. So 100 million sharks are killed every year, and no one bats an eye because they're so demonized now, right? Well, they
Are
actually
they still? Are they still?
They're one of the oldest
This is-
creatures living on planet Earth. Go ahead.
Yeah, which
go
is
ahead.
cool. So they did a study where they put a transmitter inside of a belly of a great white shark to see how often it feasts, to kind of just get an idea. It typically eats one large meal every 6 weeks. So the shark
Dang.
being around in just eating people doesn't make sense. In fact, it doesn't
would be
happen.
A
Yeah.
fucking, 6 times the size of that shark.
Yeah. So when people are out in the water, the only time a shark actually attacks people is when it thinks it's another animal. Like
Great
they
white
don't see
at least.
people.
It's
Yeah, most
instinctive.
sharks, but great
Yeah,
whites
they're like
especially.
there are like a few outliers that are dicks.
Sure. Well, tiger sharks they talked about in this movie.
What?
They eat anything, and
Yeah.
that is true.
Yeah, tiger sharks are dicks.
So I have a top 5 about this.
Oh my gosh.
Top 5 swallowed.
My top 5 is top 5 most ridiculous things you are more likely to die from than a shark attack.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, this movie, of course, scared everybody. But on average, there are 5 to 6 deaths a year in the entire world. So, Mayor Pete or whatever, I don't
Out of
know.
Billions.
He might have been onto something with just, making money. But I get the point of him being the villain. I don't necessarily argue that. All right. My top 5. Number 5. Accidental discharge of a firearm at 486 deaths a year.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some of this is funny, some of this is political.
I mean, that's not really political.
Well,
It's just
no, I agree.
people
I
accidentally
agree.
shooting other people.
Yeah, isn't that sad?
Or themselves.
All right,
Yeah.
number 4, aviation deaths at 358 a year.
Okay.
Number 3, okay, this actually isn't less. It's 4 per year, but I thought this was funny. About 4 people die from carnival rides each year.
Like falling off them or
Whatever that means.
things
4
falling
people.
off
I
the
got
roller coasters and
scratched.
hitting other people?
Got
It could be.
tetanus.
Yeah.
Use your imagination, I guess. Maybe somebody tried to do a flip in the Gravitron. Number 2, we've got hippo deaths at 500 a year.
Yeah, hippos are motherfuckers.
They're one of the
Yeah.
most dangerous animals. But it's crazy because, like, how often do you encounter a hippo or how often do you encounter a shark? It's
Yeah,
not too
we're
different.
talking a world. This is the total population of Earth. So
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm not necessarily disregarding that, but my number 1 is kind of to that point. So if Jaws scared you of a shark bite, and I can think of some other things that might scare people, but not as killed as many as this. So between 81,000 and 137,000 people die a year from snake bites. Apparently 5.4 million people are bitten by snakes worldwide a year.
And that's why I don't fuck with snakes.
Don't fuck with snakes.
Daniel
Michael
to
will
spiders
never
is
catch
snakes to me.
in Australia. That entire continent is just filled with shit that wants to kill
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, I agree. So that's
Not
my
for
top
me.
5. Why
job.
sharks aren't as bad as they should, or this movie made them out to be.
look out for them sharks, snakes, hippos, all
Carnies.
things not
No,
native
Yeah.
to Ohio.
And the thing is, hippo death isn't cool. Like, they maul you.
It
to
doesn't
death
sound
with those
cool.
Giant, like, they're not even sharp teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're blunt.
Yeah.
And with sharks, the other thing is, like, once they take a bite of somebody, it's not like Jaws. They again realize that they're not people, like they're not food. So some of them might die, but it's not like they're
Yeah.
eating them like
Yeah,
in
they get a
Jaws.
good
Yeah, most of the time it's a
They
bite.
get-
Ew, yuck. Leave.
Yeah.
Right. The Quentin death is not very common. Let's put it that way.
Eat a person whole.
That death was epic as fuck.
Yeah.
You mean
Especially
sharks
as
don't jump up on the boat?
Yeah,
Having
eat the
him
boat.
with his machete.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
Like the shark's gonna be like, ow, dude, ow.
As he's getting eaten.
That death is epic. All right, who won the movie? Dave, who won the movie?
Bruce.
Even though he got blown up?
Yeah, I mean, he became the most famous part of the movie, right?
That's true. Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
But his Trojancy came
Fair.
back for revenge in one of the Jaws movies.
I
We
mean,
don't
I also
talk
said
about those movies.
I also said Brody because I thought you guys were going to give me pushback on chasing the shark.
No, man. The shark is like
I don't.
he's.
Your
If
answer.
you ask anyone what Jaws is about, they're going to say a shark.
It's the
Big
shark.
shark. Yeah.
They're not going to be like. Actually, it's about Brody fighting
Yeah,
the corruption
I
of
agree.
the local politicians.
Yeah,
And then
right.
going out to be
I agree.
hunt his Moby Dick, which is a giant shark.
Right.
They're gonna be like,
Yeah, I
"That's the
think,
Big
shark
shark.
movie, bro."
The
Yeah.
shark is synonymous with Jaws. Like, people will just call that Jaws.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those Southerners. John, who won the movie for you?
I guess Spielberg. I didn't have an answer, really. Hard to pick
Yeah.
one.
I put
I s-
Spielberg.
Same. Yeah.
Like, this was a huge movie for him.
Yeah, I think this is a no-brainer in Spielberg. He was 26 at the time of filming this movie. He had done
Holy
a
hell.
couple TV movies and Sugarland Express before this.
Spielberg
He
was only 26.
Yeah, when he started filming this.
That's
I mean, so he was pretty
That's
young,
wild.
pretty green, and somehow got a big budget and a bunch of executives to back him up. Even when things were failing, it ended up being the first blockbuster, and obviously
Yeah.
a pretty big notch on the career of one of the best directors.
Yeah.
This was before everything. This was
Mhm.
before all the.
Yep.
Okay.
1975. So this was like his second.
No, I
Film.
knew it was old.
Isn't that crazy?
I knew it was old.
Yeah.
Yeah, second film.
I
Imagine
had
that.
I had something different,
Yeah.
and mine is Hooper, because he literally got in the cage in the water with a shark,
Yep.
and he lived.
I almost
Yeah.
said that.
Because
Yeah.
even if they say it's a shark-proof cage, that cage was not shark-proof, and I doubt any cage that they say is shark-proof in real life is actually shark-proof.
Not for a shark that big.
No,
Yeah, right.
That thing
And
was
he-
what, 25 feet long? Is that what? they
30.
said?
Yeah,
30?
I mean,
Yeah.
the cage. I mean,
The
Yeah.
size
I thought about
the
increasing,
cage
like,
looked
can't
pretty
get the
janky.
fish
I
out.
think any shark
yeah,
could have
oh,
gotten
yeah.
through that cage.
But yeah, he got in that cage in the water, and then he survived.
Yeah, I thought about saying him. I think any of the three guys could, because obviously Robert Shaw or Quint died, but they killed the shark. Like, he went out with a bang. He died. He did his swan song.
Yeah.
The guy wasn't going to live much longer anyway. So, like, let's be honest.
You don't know.
And I know some stories about the real life guy too. That I'll get into. But no, I thought about Hooper too. That's a good answer, especially if you're thinking inside the movie.
Yeah.
All right, next category should be pretty simple. Favorite song moment or score scene? So, we've talked about this off air. Is this the most recognizable theme of all time? Because I think it is.
Yeah, it's probably one of them for sure.
It's up there.
Yeah, I
Definitely.
think because it's so simple.
That's what I was about to say.
Like
The
a lot
it's
of them,
two
a lot
notes,
of them
right?
have too much to them that people
Yeah.
forget them. But you can just
F sharp.
Yeah.
Like if you're in the water and you're doing that, someone's like, "Oh, that's the shark music."
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my kids know what that song is, and they have no. I haven't played in Jaws for reasons. I think this is scarier than some of those ones that we've watched, for sure.
There's still more to that theme too. Like there's the like twiddly part, I guess is what I call it.
Yeah,
but like yeah, exactly.
The
So there's yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a John Williams score, so it's great throughout.
It's packed.
There's the like adventure parts that I kind of like too when they're on the boat. That are kind of fun.
Yeah. I said because I knew it was going to be the theme.
Yeah, of course.
I said, "Show me the way to go home" when they all sing.
Good call.
Like when they.
Good call.
I said
after
the
they
sea
bonded.
shanty too.
Yeah.
I called it the sea shanty.
Okay.
Show me the way to go home. I'm tired and I want to go to bed.
They're all drunk as fuck.
Yeah, and they're just singing together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the church is like, "No fun for you."
Nope.
Nice. Anybody else? So Dave.
I have one.
Did the song. All right, John.
Farewell and adieu, you fair Spanish lady.
Farewell and adieu, you ladies of Spain.
Farewell and adieu, you ladies of Spain.
It's beautiful. Daniel, did you have anything?
Yeah.
For sure.
I do want to say that I just did some research, and the biggest white shark that we've ever seen was 5,000 pounds and 20 feet. So tack on another 10 feet. That's going to be like a
15
huge
feet.
friggin' shark.
Yeah, nobody made a cage for that. In,
Yeah, that shark is
New
gonna-
York.
I mean, like it wrecking a ship is like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. If the biggest one we've seen is 10 feet shorter than that and 5,000 pounds, you got another 10 feet on there?
Right.
That shark is just going to wreck your ship.
I've heard some people say that the orcas are the ones you have to watch out for, not the great whites.
Well, yeah.
Apex
Predator.
Only if you're a billionaire on your
Speaking
yacht.
of, did you see the name of the boat?
What was
In Jaws?
Yeah.
Orca?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was. That's right.
Which is the only natural predator of the great white.
Really?
Apex predator.
Also, they're called,
I knew it was coming.
Daniel, you might appreciate this. They're also called the wolves of the sea because they hunt in packs.
Okay.
Oh, Daniel's a big wolf guy.
Yeah.
All right. Next,
Clever girl.
Jazz Wolf. R.A.P. Jazz Wolf. All right, next category. Does this movie get made now? What are our thoughts?
I'm going to go with no.
I would say no as well.
Say no.
Wow. Are we consensus? I said no.
Yeah, like monster movies and stuff like that will get made, but like a movie like this with so much
Character
nuance
development?
and and restraint, you'll never see a movie like this again.
Yeah.
Because CGI
I agree.
will just like they'll do the Meg and the whole shark will eat the whole ship.
It's too much.
Yeah.
They'll overdo it. Yeah, I agree. I said the exact same thing.
And also, if they redid it, it certainly wouldn't be PG, and it would be way more. It would be way more gory, I think, than that.
Yeah.
Like now.
It wouldn't feel the same.
No.
I think that's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
I think monster movies, like we said, the aliens of the world do get made, but it just doesn't have the same feeling. So I don't think Spielberg would ever try to do it again. Like I just don't think this happens again.
This is lightning in a bottle. This is
exactly. I agree.
The shark breaking down is like the best thing that happened to this movie.
Exactly right. That's the thing. So many and again, Hooper living, which wasn't planned. So many unplanned things happened that Spielberg had to make on the fly. Those decisions that don't get thought out. Like that doesn't happen. So yeah, I agree. Wow, that was cool. I wasn't sure how that was gonna go, but we all said no. Nice.
Did John say no? Did I miss that?
John didn't say anything.
I'm going to say yes.
Heel turn.
How many times did they make this?
Oh, well, they tried.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with
but
Daniel. When was the last Jaws made?
87.
Really, but 87. Okay.
Oh, so
That's a good year.
Yeah,
that's even
it's been a
before.
while.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's the year I was born.
Same.
Three of you.
Yeah, I was just being contrarian, to be honest.
I appreciate it. I appreciate the attempt, but yeah, this hasn't been made since that 87. All right, next category: favorite line from the movie. Dave,
did you take your Dramamine?
That's a great line.
Did you take your Dramamine?
I wouldn't have picked it first, but that is a great line.
It's a good line. I like that. Daniel?
You're going to need a bigger boat.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Yeah, that's what we had to do. And that line, so like everybody says "were."
Yeah.
It's your.
Yeah, you're going to need a bigger boat.
It's because he says it 3 different times. He says, "You're going to need a bigger boat."
He does.
And then he says, "We're going to need a bigger boat, right?" And then he says, "Yeah, but we could radio in a bigger... ...
He's trying to lobby for a bigger boat. So.
Apparently that line was ad-libbed as well. Which is
really
nuts.
nice.
Yeah.
It's an emblematic line.
Yeah, by Roy Scheider, who we'll talk about a little later. I think he did a great job in this. I mean, I think all 3 of them did, but we'll talk about that when we get there. Eric?
Mine is, Amity Island has long been known for its clean air, clear water, and beautiful white sand beaches, but in recent days, a cloud has appeared on the horizon of this beautiful resort community. A cloud in the shape of a killer shark.
That's about as cheesy as it gets.
The thing is, that is exactly how fucking corny local news is, though, man.
Yeah,
local news is so fucking corny.
Plot twist. Amity's Island summer is done.
John?
When he's doing the autopsy, I don't know if I'll get this exactly right, but this was no boat accident. It wasn't a boat propeller, no coral reef, and it wasn't Jack the Ripper.
Well, this is not a boat accident. It wasn't any propeller. It wasn't any coral reef. And it wasn't Jack the Ripper.
I don't forget how he wraps it up, but yeah.
I love that.
That's just a really good scene, too.
Yeah. No smoking in here.
And portions of the rib cage are intact. Do not smoke in here. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
That reminds me of me and Gene Erkelin. Put that cigarette out!
Oh, yeah, it did.
Ric Flair, you have made world... Put that cigarette out.
My favorite line was, "And I'm not going to stand here and see that thing cut open and see that little Kittner boy spill out all over the dock."
And I am not going to stand here and see that thing cut open and see that little Kittner boy spill out all over the dock.
Yeah, that's...
Oh, shit.
Dear
That's
God.
fair. Yeah, could you imagine?
Another one of my favorites is just that guy that just goes, "Oh, what?
A what?"
There's always the cold, lifeless eyes.
He's got lifeless eyes, black eyes like a doll's eye.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go into it, but that whole speech where he's talking about sharks and how you don't even think they're alive until they bite, and then their eyes go white.
Whenever he says, here's to swimming like a bow-legged woman.
Yeah, like what? And I also like when he says, "You know how you know that when you're in the water, Chief? You tell by looking from the dorsal to the tail."
Yeah.
You know that when you're in the water, Chief, you tell by looking from the dorsal to the tail.
That guy was fucking crazy.
Yeah, Robert Shaw.
Though.
Yeah, he was played by Robert Shaw, who was crazy in real life. I got some stories a little later on.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, he's an interesting character. There's so many good lines, but like nothing famous other than "you're gonna need a bigger boat." I thought that was interesting. Like,
I don't know, the cold, lifeless eyes.
Yeah, that one's pretty big.
Chunk of it.
Yeah, I agree there.
But yeah, I have another line from within that scene that I'll just clear out here, which is after he's describing all the carnage of all the men getting eaten by sharks, he's like, anyway, we delivered the bomb.
All right, most rewatchable scene. I think this is a tough one. There's a lot of good scenes. John?
Okay, my
Take it as
repeat
you want.
was just a very quick clip that Dave just mentioned when they think they've caught the shark and they're on the dock and they're all like clamoring and someone's like, what kind of shark is it? And Hooper goes, it's a tiger shark. He's got a knife in his teeth too, like a pirate. And one of the local fishermen goes, a what?
A what? A what? A what? A what?
A what? A what?
That's a good AD repeat for sure.
I also wrote that one down as one of my most rewatchable scenes. But I also wrote down that scene of the chaos of all the boats going out to hunt the shark.
Oh yeah.
That shit was funny.
That was chaos. I kind of forget about that.
They're all gonna bottom out on the jetty.
Yeah. Oh man. Daniel?
For me, it's you're gonna need a bigger boat. Like, he's chumming the water, he's all pissed off, he's like, you come chum the water, you son of a bitch. And then the shark is there, and he throws like 2 more chums, and then looks and and then like snaps up with a cigarette in his mouth, like,
Oh, that shot is so good too. The way he snaps and like that's when you realize it's on.
The cabin
he like snaps up and then is so rigid too, which is
so good.
Which is so cool on a boat that he could be that rigid because it's like, oh my god, that shark is going to kill us all.
Eric, what'd you have?
My most rewatchable scene was Bruce getting blown up. And it's mostly because I don't know if I've told this anecdote on the podcast or not, but there was a year, I think it was 86, there was a time in Oregon where a dead whale carcass washed up onto the beach, and the Oregon Department of Transportation, instead of like burying it or pushing it back out or whatever they do now,
towing it out to sea or something.
Yeah, they decided to blow it up with dynamite.
Holy shit!
And you can find like the news story on YouTube, and it starts out with people being like, "Oh my gosh, I just had to be down here to see a whale blow up
for the whale explosion."
Yeah, and then they explode, and it quickly turns into like whale remains. Yeah, just being rained on everyone. Yeah, and then they talk about how bad it smelled.
Oh yeah.
It's just,
oh man, I can't imagine.
Yeah. So watching the shark get blown up like that reminded me of that real thing that happened.
Oh my god.
And it was hilarious.
Just chuck a couple of sticks of TNT in there. It'll be all right.
That's fine. Yeah.
That is some Seahorn shit taking place on the West Coast.
Yeah, that is. It really is.
Yeah, definitely. That's crazy. I just had, I think the whole movie's rewatchable, but I put 2, and specifically the dinner scene. I think their conversation is so good. Like, the chief realizing the shark is still out there is such a key plot point. Like, it's that realization that makes everything else go after that.
He's like, shit is serious now.
Yeah, and they talk about the territoriality, and why Jaws keeps coming back. That whole like little dialogue there was cool. And then of course I love the night scene that we talked about a little bit. where they're basically trading war stories. And one thing that was interesting was that Robert Shaw, the guy who played Quint, was drinking on set, which not a surprise.
Really?
And was trashed giving one of the best monologues of all time. And they said they took like 10 takes, and they wrote that monologue. Like, that monologue went through 5 to 6 writers, including like Spielberg doing one, one of Spielberg's friends that does a lot of Spielberg stuff. Like, they went through all these different writing, or all these versions of that monologue, and Robert Shaw himself was the one who actually finished it and wrote the actual monologue that we hear. He did that, and he was trashed.
Yeah.
In real
Good
life.
work.
Yeah. Like, he refused to work on the picture unless he was wasted.
Yeah, and there's some other crazy
like
things.
3,000 in booze.
Which is a great segue to my next to the next category. Most likely to the off-screen drunk. There's 2 answers.
There's one answer. John, what's the answer?
Why me?
Because I'm just asking you.
Oh, my answer is Mrs.
No.
Shara.
What's the answer?
Kevin. Why did you push me?
I love that this time there was just like everyone was like, "Oh, what's he gonna say?"
So
It's Kevin.
So John, who'd you say?
Oh, the sheriff's wife.
Oh, okay.
Yeah?
Oh, just being cast off, worrying about her husband lost at sea.
And she talks about getting drunk and fooling around.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
I mean, she's party for sure. So, well,
That's
the cat's away.
Interesting. Yeah. Well, I thought you were going to say the sheriff, and I'm like, well, he spits it out, actually. Like, he clearly
And
is
he's
not a
on
big drinker.
screen for sure.
Well, yeah, that's fair. Daniel?
I was gonna say Robert Shaw, but we already
Yeah.
covered that. So I'll go with I don't know, Hooper when he's done with this. Hooper went toe to toe with a shark in the water. Like, I don't know that there's much more.
I mean, that's why
Shit.
Shaw was the drunk after.
Pants-shittingly terrifying than
Yeah.
being in a little cage, having your cage just be destroyed, and then having a 30-foot shark coming at you.
And he's in the water with that boat they find the first time after that dinner scene.
Oh, yeah. Right. Eric, did you have anybody else?
I had Quint, but I'm going to say the dude that got his leg eaten in the pond. And
Didn't that guy get eaten?
no, his leg just got eaten. He got pulled out, right?
Yeah, he got pulled out.
Oh, okay.
I think he got pulled out.
I don't think he died. I think they...
I
yeah,
hope
think
he
got pulled out.
walks around with a peg leg now.
It got him high, though. It got him at, like, the hip.
Oh yeah, that was like at the hip. And
Maybe
that's a
I don't.
major artery.
If he didn't, then I'll say the kid who was in shock.
The sheriff's
Yeah.
son. Yeah.
The sheriff's son, yeah. That's a good one.
Or Kevin.
Or Kevin.
Taking after his mom.
Um,
No, I mean the kid, not Kevin.
so a little more on Robert Shaw real quick.
Moron.
Yeah, moron. Apparently he wouldn't stay on the set for too long or film too long because he was evading taxes. Not kidding.
Oh my god!
And,
What the hell?
And he was married 3 times and died at the age of 51. Because
Of what? How?
Oh, alcoholism.
Cirrhosis?
Yeah, something like that. I mean, he was always drunk in this movie. And so much so that there were fights between him and Dreyfuss. He was kind of a bully to Dreyfuss.
Oh, so
which is
that shit was real.
some of that was real. And there's some hilarious stories behind, like, so The Masked that sits on the boat is about 75 feet high. And Robert Shaw would go up to Dreyfuss randomly and be like, I'll give you $1,000 if you go up there and jump it. And like he would just like raise it. He'd be like, 1,500, pussy. And like every day he would come up to Dreyfuss and be like, bet you won't do it. And so like it got to the point where Spielberg had to like say something to them. So apparently he was kind of a bully.
That doesn't surprise me.
No. So this dude was a legend. Every scene he's drunk in real life and in the movie when he's, you know, they first meet him or in his shack, you know, he's giving them shots and then they're drinking on the boat. I mean, they're drinking all the time.
Yeah, also, let's not forget the way he entered the movie with the nails on the chalkboard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about the nails on the chalkboard.
It's such a ludicrous entry to the movie.
That you never
It is.
see again. Like the guy who walks out with them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right. Next category. Casting our friends.
Daniel got to it before me.
All right, Daniel.
The mayor is Kevin.
Oh, shit.
Okay.
Because Kevin, we would be like, hey, Kevin, there's a big-ass shark out there. And Kevin's like, I don't go in the fucking water. Let's make some money, bitch. He wouldn't give a shit. He would just be like, we got to make money.
It's hilarious.
Sorry.
Got to schedule
Clint
the heat.
is Cody because he would definitely take advantage of shark attacks to get paid.
Yeah.
Brody is Matt because he's surrounded by morons. And then I'm Hooper because I'm like super nerdy and I would be super into the subject and I would say stuff like, let me take a picture. Oh, stand next to the shark. No, stand closer to the shark. I need it for scale. Stand
I need
closer
you
to
for
the
scale.
shark. But not super helpful, really.
Oh, he drives the boat, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyone can drive a boat. You go
I'd like to see him
faster,
try.
slower, right, left.
You can go backwards too.
Ooh, backwards, right, left.
Nice. Is that all?
Yeah, that's all I had.
I mean, there's not a lot, so
Yeah.
that's pretty hilarious. Eric?
Okay. I had a few. So I said John is the shark. The shark is John after herbal enhancements because he just wants to eat stuff, dude.
Hungry John eat anything.
Hungry
He's
John
got the
is going to
munchies,
go.
bro.
Yeah, he's going to go get some pepperoni rolls. He'll be back later, man. Quint is dramatic and wise and colorful, and he's trying to chase the shark to like rein it in, get it under control. And so that's Daniel when he's chasing after John, trying to rein him in. And then also when he just talks, it's very colorful. I said Kevin is the chief, Chief Brody, because he's always on work. He's always on call.
That's true.
That he just loves it. He loves the job,
work.
so he's always on call. Yeah. Then I said Matt and I are Hooper together, like combined. And I said Matt's the college-educated scholar, and I'm the one with all the fancy techie gadgets.
Yep.
I said Dave is the chief's wife because hot. and then the last one that I came up with, as we were talking earlier, is Bogey is the boat because apex predator.
The orca.
Yeah.
Nice. That's hysterical.
That's all I had.
Nice. John?
All right. I've got Kevin is the sheriff, Chief Brody, because he's by the book. He's a landlubber, and he's got to get drunk to get out on the boat. Eric, you are Hooper to me because the technologist.
Yeah.
Quint, I have as Daniel, but also Cody, I agree with Daniel. Cody, how Quint is like, walks in there in his first appearance, he's like, all right, send me money. I'll get your shark for you. Matt is the mayor because he's trying to keep things on schedule. And Dave is Mrs. Sheriff or the deputy. I like the deputy sheriff who's just like, hanging out. He's like, hey, I don't know these guys. What do you want me to do? He's chilling out. So that's my casting.
Nice.
Dave?
I just had two. I had John as Hooper, just inviting himself in and inviting himself to have the person's dinner.
Is anyone eating this?
No.
Is anyone eating this?
Oh, no. Here, I'll take this.
John did used to invite himself into Plum Street.
At least he brought some wine. And then I had Kevin as Brody because gets drunk, hates water.
It's hilarious. Wow, that's funny. All right, I had Cody as Quint as well. Daniel and I were very similar. I had Cody as Quint for obvious reasons. I mean, he's going to be the guy you want on the water chasing somebody down. I had Daniel as Bruce, always, because he's always trying to leave the set. And because heel. I had John as Hooper as well, because I said, seems giddy about getting his hands dirty and doing some dirty National Geographic shit.
Yeah.
That
would be
But he's
John.
got those office hands.
And then I had Kevin, Daniel, you're so right, I had Kevin as the mayor because he cares about the small businesses and not DoorDash.
DoorDash is the shark.
That's right. Yep, exactly.
DoorDash is the shark.
That's right. All right.
Whew.
I think that's all.
That's pretty good.
All we wrote on that one. Let's talk about those actors now. Is this some podium role for any of the top billed cast members?
Whoops.
Oh yeah. So first we got Chief Brody, Roy Scheider.
Yes.
I said yes.
Yes.
He does such an amazing job in this. He's not over the top. He's real laid back, but he still conveys that fear that we see, like Eric talked about. Just the shots of him zooming in and out, they're incredible. His acting's great.
And he's also believable as a sheriff. Like,
yeah,
he holds
I
himself
agree.
as a position of authority, but he's still obviously terrified of the giant shark.
Yeah, he's calm. There's a calmness to him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd say this is number 2 on his list. The only reason being he's one of 3 main characters in a movie, All That Jazz, which was up for Best Picture, and he was also up for Best Actor, is probably his best role. Not necessarily his best movie, but I would say it would be slightly ahead of this.
Is it movie or role?
It's a role.
It's a role. Know your role.
Okay.
And so the other movies that are worth mentioning, he actually had an Oscar nom for French Connection, which is with Gene Hackman. And also he was in, he had a great role in Marathon Man with Dustin Hoffman. So he was really popular in the 70s, and then he kind of teetered off into some weird action movies and TV stuff. But yes, definitely on this list. Next we have Richard Dreyfuss.
This is the only one that I'm like, I don't know, but I think yes.
I said yes.
I said yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I really
think
don't.
I think Close Encounters is the only one ahead of this for him. And mainly because he's the main role in that. And kind of, again, he gets to be the main character as opposed to sharing. There's a crazy story about him in this movie.
He won the Best Actor award.
He did?
Yeah.
For Mr. Holland's Opus?
The Goodbye Girl.
The Goodbye Girl. I didn't know that. Wow.
1977.
No shit. 2 years after this. Well, good thing he did this movie. So listen to this. He originally turned this movie down. And he went and it was like 74, 70, right around the time that they were trying to make this movie. He went and saw his first leading role called The Apprenticeship of Daddy Kravitz. And it was, supposed to be this big hit with him as the leading role. He went and saw it. And he said how horrible of an actor he was. And then it got all these really piss-poor ratings. And he was like afraid he wasn't going to act again. And so he went straight to Spielberg and said, hey, I'll do your movie. In fear of not being an actor anymore.
Yeah.
This might be my last shot.
Right. Well, that's crazy. 2 years later, he won Best Actor. I didn't realize that.
Yeah. At the 50th Oscars in 1977.
Wow. So I would say that, this, and Close Encounters. And then the last guy to talk about is our man who died at 51, Robert Shaw.
Yeah.
He was 48 in this movie. He looks like he's 70 in this movie. Alcohol did not do... Right, alcohol did not do him well. So the only other movie I recognize him from was The Sting.
Good movie.
Great movie with blanking.
Robert Redford.
Yeah, Robert Redford and Paul Newman. Yeah, and so I recognize him from that. I looked it up, and he was also, Kevin would know, from Russia with Love.
Yep,
he was in that.
I saw that on his list.
Yeah, and then he also had an Oscar nomination for A Man for All Seasons, but I haven't seen that. So, but regardless, I would say this was probably his biggest role. I mean, this is for him. I think this is his.
Such a big movie. I feel like it's got to be almost on all their podiums.
Yeah, agreed, and definitely on their podiums. And for him, he didn't really have as big of a role as those other guys in other big movies. Mm-hmm. So. And I think that's all for. Yeah. I mean, those are it. The mayor was in. I think he was the dad in The Graduate. He was in a couple of things in the 70s that were, decent sized roles, not necessarily main character roles, but he had a decent career. And
which was a big movie, but not
fine.
A big role.
Yeah, exactly. All right, last category. Podium movies for the year 1975.
It's a good year.
I think it is a good year. I agree.
Remember back then?
Daniel, you want to go first?
No, let me go last.
Okay. Sounds good.
I'll go first.
I want to hear what other people say and then maybe adjust my list.
All right.
Number 3, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Yeah.
And this is number 1.
Nice,
yeah.
John.
Okay.
You said you wanted to go last.
No. But then I heard I heard what I needed. Because my number 3 was anything but the Rocky Horror Picture Show, because I fucking hate that movie. So,
oh my god.
So Cuckoo's Nest 3, Python and the Holy Grail 2, and Jaws at 1.
Oh man,
I'm gonna piss off a lot of people with that take. You clip that one out and put it on the shorts, and people are gonna react. People love that fucking movie for some reason.
Hey, some of us might like that movie here. John,
that's fine.
What'd you put?
It's kidding.
I don't take offense to it.
I
I get it. I get why
Daniel
you
says take offense.
Take offense, give offense. I am going to put number 3 as One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Good movie, not a fun watch. 2 will be Monty Python's Holy Grail, and Jaws number 1.
All right. 3 in a row, same answer.
Oh, yeah. Shit, well, I will ruin
It
that.
just took John a little bit longer to get there than the rest of us.
Eric?
Mine is, yes is the first part. Number 3 is...
Yes.
You answered the question, nice.
Yeah. Number 3 is the Holy Grail. Number 2 is Rocky Horror Picture. And then number 1 is Jaws.
Rocky Horror.
I'm closer to
her. Rocky Horror.
Rocky Horror.
So let's see. Movies we didn't mention. Dog Day Afternoon was a pretty big one at the time with Al Pacino. He was amazing in that.
That was
and
a
also,
bank robbing movie.
Yeah. Yep. And
Never seen
then it's good. It's really good. But it takes place mostly in the bank. But it's good. And then you also had one of the best rock and roll movies of all time in Tommy. The Who. And with that, I said Rollerball at number 3.
Hare would be proud of you.
Fuck you guys. I'm going home. Number 2. Damn it, Janet. I went with Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh.
Daniel's very happy.
Terrible.
Yeah.
And my number 1, did we sweep number 1? We swept.
Yes.
Nice.
I think Jaws was all around.
I mean, it's incredible. I think it's one of the most entertaining movies of the last 50 years.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I really do. It's incredible. And with that, yeah, that's my number 1. And yes, it made my podium. I didn't even answer my own question. Ask.
How dare you?
I know. All right.
Actually, no. I want to change mine. So this isn't
no take backs.
This I think Jaws was better. I think the shark was better in Jaws 3.
3D.
Not Jaws 1. So this is not on my list.
Jaws, otherwise known as Jaws 1.
Thanks for tuning into our show. Please like and subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts. You can also follow us on all of your favorite social media platforms for clips, updates, and opportunities to vote on a movie we watch. Later.
Bye.
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 Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.